The longer I think about this thing, the more it keeps me awake at night, the more it becomes more monstrous. And then I come out and it's not that bad. Could probably use some fertilizer to produce more fruit, but as you see, I am so close to my neighbor that I can see the water. They just took a shower. I mean, it's way too intimate around here. A new concern I have, and it just occurred to me this morning, is that when the winds come through, and a wind will come through, it is going to blow all those dead leaves. As you see, I have a bunch in the gravel over there into his property. I was brainstorming a few different ways that I can get up there and just bring those leaves down. I think I have to do it from underneath. Again, I hate to keep going on about the heat, but we're going to be at 100 again today. We've got another week of hundreds, 99, 101. And by yesterday at 9:30, the sweat was pouring off me so bad that I was lightheaded. My dilemma is I like to have my coffee in the morning. I like to ease into the day. None of this, I don't run around in jammies because actually I don't actually have any. Well, maybe one pair, I don't. But I like to start slow. I really don't like to run out and start a big project. And okay, procrastinating for sure. But I will regret it when a wind comes through and those leaves are flying. And he's kind of a fastidious fella. He wouldn't care for that at all. Almost nothing has succeeded in this area over here. Nothing. It's curious. It's like it's cursed. Even my beloved heuchera is struggling a lot over there. Let's see. Over there with basically a fungus, I think. The progress of the coleus I bought. They're okay. Staying quiet. Progress of the hummingbird feeder. That bird never comes to this. I think this is a sweet spot. But nope. At least I don't think he does. Brax. I've got more and more on two of them. This one is got a little one. Oh, and a few in the back. I love it. I love the bougainvillea. Let's look at this tomato from another angle. Yeah, I thought about trying to drag something over the back of it and then just ruffle all the leaves down so they don't go into his yard. But I think I'm going to have to manually bring them down. And I got to drag out the ladder. Little step stool, actually. Progress of this little fella. I wanted to film this while I was planting it because I had hydrophobic soil, meaning I would put water in it and think it was filling up. The water pooled on top of it for its starter. You know, I know it's a succulent. It's purslane. And as I moved the water aside, underneath was dry. The water would not seep down into the dryness. So that soil was hydrophobic. Single Cherokee purple, cracking me up. Oh, he's actually getting worse for wear. Might have to pull him. Some die off again. This red pepper's getting bigger, but I don't see a lot of fruit on it. Interesting. Gypsy pepper I broke so many times. More die off on this guy too, but he is producing. I pulled 3 off of him yesterday. This is, the indigo ruby tomato. Still more die off. Carpet roses are looking awful, but at this point, those leaves are just going to blow around the yard, so that's fine. I'm going to let that happen. My crepe myrtle is coming out with multiple color blooms. Oh, how is that possible? Do they have tricolor crepe myrtles? Because this one sure looks like he is. He's adorable. All right, that's where all the bees are. Look at them. Little bees. Cute. Oh, I'm terrible with hibiscus. I overwater them all the time. This one's got a bud, so I'm trying to not overwater. These grapes are tiny, but I tasted them and they're great. And I think I'm going to harvest them. I read they might be small. There's some in there as well because they didn't get enough water. I don't know. It says keep them on the stem; they'll last longer. Now I won't be harvesting the Cabernet because they've got to do some color changing. Oh, maybe it's too soon. I don't know. There's a shot of the sunflowers. Goodness, there's a bunch over there. That one's hanging over with the weight. No, there's a bunch over there. It's going to be 100 degrees again here in southeastern Arizona again today. It's 70 right now, which is quite comfortable, but the humidity's up to 30%. I see a whole week of hundreds, 99, 101. I can't imagine how Tucson and Phoenix are doing because they're much hotter than we are. We're 10 degrees cooler on average than Tucson, and they're 10 degrees cooler on average than Phoenix. And they're only a couple hours apart, but boy. I did a little bit of filming before I sat down. I was showing you the tomato plant, my concerns that, of course, I'm concerned about the dead leaves. I can't do anything about them. I don't know why they did it. Location would be my best guess. But if a strong wind comes through, all those leaves are going to go in his yard, and that's not okay. I need to get my step stool, get them down, the dead leaves. There are times I think about just taking the entire tomato plant down, both of them, but we'll see. They're still producing a little bit. Could use some fertilizer. By 9:30 yesterday, I was so hot. The sweat was pouring off of me, which is really kind of unusual here for Arizona because it's dry. Lightheaded. There's just a finite amount of time to get things done. And as I was explaining, I don't like to start fast. I like to have coffee and think about things, and in this kind of heat, there are so many things to think about. When I do the hydrogen peroxide, of course I've got to do it early, but beyond that, I've got to take the hydrogen peroxide back in. I take the neem oil in. Well, I don't know if neem oil needs to be in because it coagulates in cold weather. I can't leave the step stool out here. I can't say, well, I'm going to take care of the tomatoes. I'll bring the step stool out, but if I don't, I'll leave it. No. I don't like my things out in the heat like this. The tripod really needs to go inside. Just so many days of sitting out here at 100 won't work. I was filming yesterday. Got my little goodies, my latest little round of goodies that I just showed you. Little plants, my collection. My camera shut off, my phone. It's like, nope, it's too hot. So I couldn't film anymore. And it's not the first time it's done it, and I know it's gonna do it. It is cool. I feel a slight breeze wafting around. I don't really I do see it on some leaves. Oh yes, can you see it maybe in the sunflowers behind me? You'll be able to see that better than I will in reverse. I was looking at the leaves of the grapes in front of me. I'll show you my view. And they were blowing just a little bit, you know, not the awful winds that we get, but just a delicate little breeze. I thought I wanted them to grow up over the trellis, but then I don't. I keep that screen up there, that material shade cloth, because it gets really, really hot. And I've had that up there 3 years. It's blown off, and I've restapled, blown off, I've restapled. So it's not going to do the grapes any good to grow up underneath it. And I couldn't grow over it either. This is the most rickety old pergola. It was here when I got here, and it's going to be here when I leave. Look at that. Can you see that? Oh my goodness. So this is what, that neighbor likes to tell me. She said this used to be the deck in her backyard, and the people that lived here for a long time, younger men, and they repurposed the wood. And obviously it didn't meet across, so they used wood to sort of hold it together, but it looks rickety. It's still standing pretty sturdy, and I'm gonna let it be. It's a huge, huge pergola. It covers quite a bit of area, as you see. Now the kind that they traditionally sell here for a lot of money, both my neighbors across the street, women, have them. One got it and the other one wanted it. Both of my neighbors have metal pergolas. And she mentioned, the other one, that she can't attach anything to it, can't put shade cloth. I think probably one could get that done. A nice little breeze is coming through again. I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy it. I heard a great winged beast behind me, whooshing, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Little hummingbird. The sunflowers, they're not always going to be there. It gets you more into them. And then I'll stretch like I'm over the dash. Hello. Can you see me? Can you see the sunflowers? It's time for me to go inside. I should put mulch down here, or should I? I don't know. What do you think? I just don't know.